Advancing clouds of blindness and mystery. Human. I'm living? Forever? Horrible truth? Please, Lord, help me. Fill my cup with hope. Save myself from suffering. I will. I will not. Human. Mercy of will. Intellectual act. Wanting. Human. Seeking power of will. Strong, confident. Honor. Collective state. Seeking intellectual autonomy. Sovereign of illusion. Spirit. Shared entity. Placement. Space. Time. Sense. Your being here. Existent. Being your own. Your star. Your God. Spontaneous phenomenon. Beyond horrible truth. Beyond pleasant, lovely, joyful truth. Existence. Abolishing death. Emancipating suicide. Surrender. Defeat. Weak will of reasoning to hastily set peace. Harmony. Abolishing life. Emancipating homicide. War. Victory. Strong will of reasoning to carefully set peace. Harmony. Life. April 19, 2007. Radiant. I'm so lonely. Changing the path, the course of life. Will I be in this path following will I be in this pain following the path of the careless fool? I will not. April 19, 2007. Morphing luminescence. The king speaks, sitting within the swirling portal, light of rays, glistening aura, resonance, blue radiance, serene, astounding, vibrant, waiting and continuing nostalgia of energy, sustaining state of remarkability, speaking further into nothing, welcoming of response, eye upon light. April 21, 2007. I'm going to explode in euphoria, the horizon's distant mist, beckoning solemn well-being, calculating subtlety, reminiscing memory, jubilating halo of ecstasy. April 22, 2007. Honor, feeling that is indescribable, abysmal in escaping from the cavities of desire, craving to overcome the mortality of anguish, heart-wrenching suffering of man, ardent hardship to defeat, the eternal sand telling fable of time, reaching, seeing to the final blow, that the genuine heroes among the mortal earn the sun and lightness of the great state of joy, honor, that the parade of pride holds his barrack angelic vision of community, in long ago sagas of immortal, unspeakable rhetoric, planting the sword and soil, wise of the finishing struggle, realizing actuality and securing the strong state of mankind. April 23, 2007. Adventure. I will realistically say that I have gone to where no man has gone to before. That I have come back to where no man has come back to before. I have ventured into spaceless encountering of the beyond. Wilderness I be in. I come back alive stronger than before. I brave the harsh terrain. Survive in one piece. My automobile plus Palomar Mountain equals goal meaning for disaster. Here is the story. First of all, my car's engine was overheating on the drive up the mountain. I pull the car over in the middle of wilderness. Few people, no cell phone connection. I bring along a survival kit for this. Hunting knife, first aid, flint, flashlight, canteen, and such. I start up the car after a while and continue driving up the mountain, when suddenly the car's engine makes a weird shuddering noise. I brake, it goes away. I drive further, and suddenly a loud whistling noise goes off. Smoke ascends the hood. I emergency maneuver the car off the road, nearly hitting an old stone pillar. Grab my belongings, preparing for self-survival. I was in the middle of nowhere. I try using my cell phone to call AAA. No luck with the connection. I journey to a nearby secluded house, worrying who the owners were, hoping they were not porch-sitting drunks with shotguns. Nonetheless, ring the doorbell, talk to the owner, being told the nearby campground will help me. I journey on foot to the campground with my gear, supplies. The camp owner lends me her phone to reach AAA. I arrange for a tow truck to pick up my car. The AAA lady on the phone telling me the truck will arrive within the next 4 hours. Only she calls later telling me within half an hour. The tow truck arrives at the campground, picks me up, drives to my nearly incinerated car. Paint on the car melted off when the radiator fluid overflowed. We drive in the tow truck from near Palmer Mountain to San Marcos, and he drops the car and I off at my home after paying nearly 200 USD for the tow. When I stopped the car the second time, it began smoking. I was rushing as fast as I could to get out, avoiding burning or deforming myself in case of fire or explosion. Basically, the first time I stopped, I was on a road with one side being forest, the other side being a forested cliff. The second time, I was in pure forest. When I stopped, I was far from civilization. I had limited amount of food, water, and such, with no phone connection. Satellite not registering to barren, desolate areas. I'm glad for thinking ahead, packing survival gear in case I would need to live off the land, which this instance I nearly did. All in all, a trip of wild adventure. April 25, 2007. Familial extraction. I am bastardous, possessing little subconscious warmth, gentility in my thinking, of which I most truly long for. This warmth, love not installing in my intellect, being without learning experience from the mother, father, triforce of parents, additional father, step-father, foe of the father, I as most the father, similar supposition, characterization, construct of the male elder, my father a madman, bent from a divorce, the stepfather concluding lunacy of the father, I getting older, I as most the father, longing for approval from both men, living, dwelling with both, approval having without this day. How far am I going? You are a man, I want to be a man. Reasoning, why? Aging, losing, slipping. Mother, will you leave the husband? You leaving the other, you will find your balance, will you? I will arrive, you will nurture me, my father will approve of me, teach, be with me. Reality, truth beholding, death being real, lost wants, dying without resolve. In abstract, wandering far, my hope is dreaming. April 26, 2007. Mystic. 1. Neutral, amoral to sense, symbol, swastika. Mystic number 1. Negative all, single humanity, stating of man, pain, pleasure, will, ontology, sustenance. 2. Bad, moral of inhuman sense, symbol crucifix. Mystic number 2. Negative all, brotherhood humanity, segregating man. Logic, ratio, intellect, persevere, affirm brotherhood security, victory, homicide. 3. Good, moral of human descent, symbol triangle, mystic number 3, positive all, mass humanity, integrating man. Reason, wisdom, intellect, persevere, affirm mass security, defeat, suicide. Addendum, bad bearing good, trial of aging, reason overcoming logic, bad dissolution, good absolution, was to rise, is to peak, will be to fall. 4. All, symbol circle, mystic number 10, positive all, single humanity, becoming of man. Intellect, logic, ratio, dagger, intellect, reason, wisdom, growl, will, pain, wand, pleasure, amulet, phenomenology, ascendance. Intellect, the civilizing man, the culturing woman, will, the liberating child, manifesting all to infinitum. April 28, 2007. Mystic 2. I'm evaporating into space of celestial matter, body, position, resonance, hearing tone of heavenly spheres, transcending material composition, aligning to astrological mathematics, speaking via visual color, knowing presence of kings, learning destiny of universal event, tie belonging to fate of imperators, rulers, guardians of sacred order, blasphemous chaos, mages possessing key to divinities, in hand, locking the seal of answers. I'm evaporating into space. I speak of the number 1, 2, 3, 10. I speak of the number 1, perfect, masculine, generating, existing, logical, objective, singular, whole, solid, indestructive, place in eternity, indivisible, individual, victorious, strong, powerful, fierce. I speak of the number 2, opinion, division, separation, duality, wisdom as feminine, subjective, intellectual, soft, good, evil. I speak of the number 3 as harmony to 1 and 1, resonance to perfection of 1 and imperfection of following 1, triangle, triangular, congregational, adding quantity of masculinity and subtracting quality of masculinity, talismanic, gateway to chakras, divine. I speak of the number 10 of the universe, holy perfection, sum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 being squaring of instances, sympathy, retribution, 10 being all, magic, astronomical occurrence, similar triangularly, celestial revolvings, marrying of masculine and feminine forces, starry, love. April 28, 2007. Numerological mysticism. 1 minus 1 equals Ain. 1 minus Ain equals 1. Repeat. Conclusion. All whole becoming. Thought. Antonym to becoming. Begoing. Deficiency in idiom. 1. Mystic interpretation. Bearing, conceiving, generating, creating, ontology, master of the self, simplicity, in being, phenomenon, waking, without becoming, increasing, without begoing, decreasing as an all, set energy, pole, force, fixing, locking, ultimate, end of means, complete will, boredom, swastika, rotating, circumnavigating, natural state, unharming, absent of intervening, beyond, higher from man, white. 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 1 plus 3 equals 4, to infinity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. Conclusion. All whole numbers, beings, in relation to 1, in association with 1 as divisible by 1. 2. Perpendicular, horizontal, vertical, dual, crucifix, 1 and 1, will and thought, man and woman, whole equaling woman, virtue and sin, split, contrast, one end and one end, rivalry, questioning, critiquing, furthering, progressing, revolutionary, black and white. 2 plus 2 equals 4, 2 plus 4 equals 6, 2 plus 6 equals 8, 2 plus 8 equals 10, 2 plus 10 equals 12, to infinity. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. Conclusion. All even numbers, beings, in relation to 2, in association with 2, as divisible by 2. 3. Parallel, diagonal, real, triangular, breaking a binary approach, multiple plus divisible, 1 and 1, adding 1, nuclear unit, family, whole equaling man, additional idea to black and white, gray, rivaling to questioning, reactionary to revolution, comparing to primary archetype, primordial generation, reactionary to intellect, wisdom, as nihilism, strength, power, regressing, black. 3 plus 3 equals 6, 3 plus 6 equals 9, 3 plus 9 equals 12, to infinity. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, etc. Conclusion. All numbers 2 plus 1, i.e. consecutive even number plus 1, beings in relation to 3, in association with 3, as divisible by 3. 4, 4 plus 4 equals 8, 5, 5 plus 5 equals 10, 6, 6 plus 6 equals 12, to infinity. One number adding itself, one being duplicating itself, equaling even, contrast, whole, divisibility. Holy mysticism of 11, 22, 33, 44. The analysis becoming of a conclusion. mysterious to my own finding and concluding. I've come from the bookstore with Le Morte d'Arthur in my carriage, the most high code of chivalry, nobility, romance told by Malory, epic tourney of the Round Table, quest for the Holy Grail, cup of Christ, how King Arthur comes to life, his most piteous death, and legend of Merlin, sage of magic, counselor to knights, Gawain, Lancelot, Balin, Tristram. Fiscal actuality bearing my denial to purchase of 777 and other Kabbalistic writings by Crowley. Number arrangements, meaning through Hebraic symbol, exotericism definitions, source book talismanic representations, tarot figures, geometry, mysticism, cult of secrecy, realms of staticism, descending from the hermetic order of the Golden Dawn. Pleasant day you have. May 2, 2007. Alchemical experiment. Notating in my endless tome of pages, sitting within my elaborate magical study, space, time changing, feeling position with ornate wooden altar, of which I partake in summoning forces of white magic, laying in rest my wand of high wizardry order, composing of a white band at the tip, and representing spiritual celestial forces, of a black band at the opposing tip, and representing material terrestrial forces, and of 12 bands of color in between the ends, and representing zodiac forces. My crystal grail, in representing Mother Goddess, water of life, feminine wisdom to life of becoming. My consecrating oil, rubbing talismanic jewelry safe of black, unholy spiritual forces. My array of amulets, bearing assortment of spherical astrological symbolism. Channeling entry into portals of infinity. My affirming pleasings of will, joy, morphing desire. I notate in my tome. I know of elements mixing within the physical, mental, astral, spiritual universes in circumference, consisting of fire, hot, dry qualities of desiring continuity, will, masculinity, aggressiveness, high and lightness, power, resistance. Air, hot, moist qualities of desiring continuity, will, masculinity, androgynous, high and lightness, wisdom, submission. Water, cold, moist qualities of desiring suspension, intellect, femininity, weak, passiveness, high and heaviness, wisdom, submission. Earth, cold, dry qualities of desiring suspension, intellect, femininity, androgynous, high and heaviness, power, resistance. Notating experimental performance of alchemical processes. I burn with fire, age with air, freeze with ice, pound with earth, sulfur, mercury, mutating elements further into realms of gold, silver, extracting from prime sources, resurrecting, developing bright elements of matter, form, spirit, furthering smelting mineral into black emptiness, into coloring meanness, further into white completeness, extracting subject from experiment, progressing stone to state of solvent as well as medium of dissolution, the philosopher's stone, prize of gods, reward of kings, mystical presence of mankind. May 6, 2007. So, who wants some bloody pussies? Alas, good luck to every wizard, witch performing. I'm certainly in need. I study arduously, ruthlessly my 5-chord repertoire. I sense I will need all the powers of the heavenly spirit to execute, perform my virtuoso gamut coherently, satisfactorily, and adequately. If I'm perchance erroneous in my musical dictation, please mention of me that I should consult my advisor on the receiving of much simpler pieces to enable further progressing of musical attainments, virtuoso achievements, exhibiting soon through masterly skill, effort, power, that of which my current repertoire to find this recommended necessary skill suggested to me being honestly authoritatively lacking, missing in performing ability. Please note sarcasm. In any event, in fire, ice, air, earth, praise be your star. Adam. Visions from the throne. Atop the mountain's peak, snowing at the white horizon, I divided 1 and 3, and earned the answer pure tea. Returning to the castle, king upon the throne. My gaze fixed the portal. I traveled the land in symbols. May 4, 2007. Speech monastery. Flowing design. Swirling sentience. All becoming. None begoing. I speak of syntactic mysticism, semantic, pragmatic cult of wisdom, secrecy of knowledge. I come from mystery, studious monasticism. I speak of deep speech from water, liquid, fertile rhetoric, yielding harvest, plentiful vegetation. I speak of shallow speech from earth, solid, sterile rhetoric, yielding drought, scarce production. A wearing of speech, possessing path to pleasure, terrestrial, celestial satisfaction. A wearing of object as in self, beyond judging, beyond being as will, pure, immaculate. Bewaring of subject, of praising, critiquing, being as thought, soil, foul. A wearing of indefinite progressing, infinite becoming, state of increase, influx, presence, carrying will, being, truth, ing, life. Bewaring of definite arriving, finite coming, state of filling, completing, ending, past, future, carrying thought, intellect, fiction, ed, death. A wearing a pure cosmic singular noun, progressing, endless verb, unaltering, uncomparing, incompleting adjective. Bewaring of pronoun, substituting purity for ambiguity, tarnishing clarity, atoning falsity, arriving the eye of chaos, fiction, disease. On contraction, apostrophe, a wearing a state of morphing, progressing, indefinite form, as, being, of, li. Bewaring of contraction, apostrophe, dividing pure into humor, soil, shallow, or, beside. A wearing of free, unobliging natural lawlessness, of man acting what he will, shall, do. Bewaring of taxing, obliging civil lawness, of man acting what he can, has, must. A wearing of affirmation, energizing life, pleasing will, pure, infinite, endless desiring, wanting, continuing, unbreaking. Bewaring of negation, affirming death, pleasing thoughts, tarnish, finite, endless stifling, panting, but, however. A wearing of action, objective practice, iti, eon, ing. Bewaring of thoughts, subjective practice, ism. Wearing a pure, infinite idea, noun, verb, adjective, such. Bewaring a false, finite idea, the noun, a verb, an adjective, such. A wearing of cosmos of all, connection. Bewaring of cosmos of limit, segregation. A wearing of limitless, spaceless, timeless, infinite state. Bewaring of limit, space, time, finite, state. Dichotomy, duality, option, ultimatum. Too much, too big, today, hour, X number events, some, and, or, either, or, if, then. High rank being, a wearing of continuity, flowing, training, prolongation of speech, will, act, process, being, becoming, continuous sentience, communicating, procession of pure thought, speech, letter. Bewaring of commencing, ending, beginning, finishing. Gathering ascetic mysticism, chromatic order of becoming vision. May 9, 2007. Visions of immortality. So I created the earth. I burned the fire and froze the ice. I aged the sands of time. I buried the mortal. I spoke to the tyrant at the summit's peak. I declared myself king. I ruled the land. I saw the Messiah. I was the Messiah. I saw the light. I revealed the ghost. I found no ghost. I was the god of immortality. My life turned into sand. Immortality was my dream. Man followed my command. Sorcery conquered my fear. Astral magic and runic wand. I felt that wisdom was near. Across the mountain's ice, scarlet at the equinox's dawn, I sacrificed an innocent lamb, and drank the wine of paradise. And still ran the sands of time, but one thing had been done. The spells surrounded me. At a light mass's night, he raised the abyss, covered by the sword. I sold my soul in vain. I felt it as he returned. the sands of time never ran for an immortal dead man. May 10, 2007. Life negating death. Slaying what slays, killing what kills, negating what negates, denying what denies. Celebrating life, affirming existence. Heeding release from threshold of shield, wall, trap. Unleashing desire. Age of refusal, taboo. We will not deny. We will not tolerate. Negating life for ages, we defend life. Stronger becoming surge of increasing energy of power. Breaking chain, unlocking autonomy. We defeat repudiation. Pain as war cry, threat, mockery. Displacing honor, instigating, mimicking, attacking majesty, splendor of life. That which harms phenomenal life shall see to its own denial of life as effect. Waking from apathy. Pain will humiliate, degrade significance no further. May 10, 2007. I was born dead, and I denied my own desire. I lived. I also negated. At the throne I envisioned defeat. My woman negates. May 13, 2007. Victory. Within the sacred courtyard, a courageous youth to guard, I met the princess of the land. Our gaze unlocked the past. Death and holy reflection, blood and soil to quake. Upon the dungeon of gloom, I slayed the tyrant's will. The aid of the noble, a possession by wisdom. The princess summoned her spell. I united and poured my courage. Our bodies to collapse, vault of incineration, to escape in triumph. He soared through the realm of emptiness. The darkness is to break, returning as a hero. The princess in her form is sealed. Her spirit and mind is free. May 15, 2007. Tale of the Night. Steadily ploughing the lengthy array of the fields of my farm's land, harvesting, reaping the crops of subsistence and nourishment for my family and neighbors, after arriving home from my enduring travels in the Mediterranean valleys, had been living in peace, harmony, idyllic respite. A youthful messenger comes, arriving deep into the heart of the village, my homeland, location, the boy telling me of a quest, my objective adventure to the castle of the king. Geared in plate, helmets, gauntlets, clutching my sword of age-old legend, my shield of great tale and myth, I settle onto my trustworthy white stallion, of haste and quickness, pulling the rope, galloping away, disembarking onto the distant horizon from the home and village which I warmly cherished, heading into the territory of the king, of which he was requesting my information and allegiance to his duty. Arriving in 2 days to the warm flora of the flowing surrounding terrain, I dismount my stallion, making way inside the castle gates. I am greeted by many dwellers, protectors, minions of the royal family. I walk forward, entering inside the corridor of stone, arriving to the Hall of Kings, the dedicated chamber of royalty, sworn loyalty to the past, ancestors, history of the brave, solemn. I ascend the tower stairway, winding to the top, into the portal where I greeted the king, hearing tale, the folk in their becoming fear of the tyrant's son, plotting the death of the king, to murder and envy, sick desire the placid father, the king of life, goodness, innocence, virtue, of humble villages, valleys of peace, to ascend the throne as successor of evil, ruling the villages in dark, deathly-like deeds. Exiting the great chamber of the tower, I entered at the outside into the green and fertile courtyard, where all is calm, the light gleams, the pollen fairies drift. Upon reaching the draped costume of the beautiful woman dwelling in the courtyard, turning to greet me, the princess, I gazing into her eyes, the congruent portals of vision embracing connection to recognition and memory, we dubiously awaring of hidden meaning, purpose of ourselves in the still to come. The wisdom of the princess wondering with insight, we speak to each other of all of our knowledge and wisdom of lands, events, people. I grow weary of thinking, playing in impatience, trusting in great deeds, acts of courage, lessening my boredom of the intellect. Upon departing out of the sudden blue of horizon, a mysterious goal of darkness enters the courtyard into existence from a dark room, and by the aid of black magic, captures the princess in all her beauty and fertility, locking her into a glaring trance, and by the will of the monstrous creature, morphs her form into nothingness, transporting her from sense and vision to a position in space unbeknownst to my own. I headed to the nearby magician, learning from the foresight into the crystal ball of fortune that by the summoning will of the ghoulish demon, the princess's transporting from the courtyard to that of the peak of the evil tyrant's castle tower had taken place. Departing from the castle with the lending assistance of the magician, the sorcerer of good will, we mounted our stallions, traversing forward the northern terrain of the snowy, frost-laden mountains. Entering higher elevation, ice-covered foes assailed to attack. The creatures were slayed in justice by my sword of truth, and my companions' spells of reflection. Upon attaining a higher level, and amidst the ravaging blizzard, as all vision was becoming lost, the air was cold and bitter. Make arrival onto the summit, dismounting the horses at the peak of the climb, where the dark castle, built of dark magic and spells from the will of evil, the tyrant in his transformation from human merit and worth, resided in all his pitiable suffering and agony. Heading from up the stairwell, the stone walls damp and cold, we attained the height of the tower, facing the wrath of the traitor, in all his grim pain and hatred. The princess at his side, locked in the steadfast holding trance, unable to break from, I thrust my sword of reckoning into the heart of the traitor, the wretch, and see to his final standing, his fallen figure to the floor in a lake of black blood. The sorcerer, in all of his effort to obtain the destruction of the cold and motionless trance of the princess, does so depleting his power and energy, falling to the floor in dying misery. The princess, released from her trance, in all her pristine beauty, attempts to reach to me in gratitude, failing so as the floor began to tremble and collapse under our feet by the dying might of the king of evil, the tyrant of darkness. Heading way, rushing steps down the castle tower's stairs, the princess carried in my arms, we make our rush out onto the snow-covered turf, as we watch the castle crumble to the ground in an epic last moment. With all our surroundings quiet, we embraced each other in joy, relief, when suddenly the living death morphed from the rubble and came after us in all his strength and knocked my sword and shield clear from my grip. The princess, in her effort to assistance, released her ethereal wisdom from her mind and halted the dragon-like monster for an instant, enough length for me to retrieve my weapon and administer the final blow, the strike of rage. With time in suspension, silence beckoning stillness, the monster fell to the soil in a whimper, dead and evaporating into the soaring realm of pure nothingness. In amidst the intensity of the moment, the melting snow, the becoming warmth of life, the princess and I embraced each other, swearing unity to no other, our souls to be wedlocked, to forever exist in matrimony for life and to beyond death. We galloped on my white stallion to the coming horizon, to the castle of righteousness, greeting the many dwellers, protectors, minions of the royal family, arriving in celebration of the monster's death, greeting the king in ceremony, the castle holding the feast and festivities in honor of the safety and security of the princess. All became hushed and worried as the king escorted from the hall to his throne room, lying on his bed in a weak state, to die an honorable body, his soul departing to the gates of the heavens. In observing view of the moment, the congregation shouting my right to succeed the king, we took ourselves, the congregation, princess and I, to the throne, where I was coronated to be the king, and my wife coronated to be the queen. And all was rejoicing, and we lived happily into the end. The protectors of the throne, the villagers of the farms, the minions of the castle, the queen fertile, bearing many children for us, we living to a long time, resting side by side in the tomb of the sacred temple, our souls drifting in harmony in the cosmic existence of the afterworld. May 16, 2007. Love in numbers. Love. Path to becoming. Learning. Being. A sequence of 10. Ain equals nothing. Inauguration of presence. Being. Introduction. Space. Lapse. 1 equals whole. Fix. Assertive tone. Beginning. of what is, the sun, light, faculty of will, being, in masculinity, virility, experience, of object. 2 equals high, soft, passive tone of the heavens, the moon, of dim, faculty of thought, intellect, balance, in femininity, gentility, innocence, of subject. 3 equals low, firm, aggressive tone of crave, desire, interest, want for bond, unity, amalgamation, of infatuation, expression, flirtation, stating meaning, honor, truth of love, in communication, advocation of will, being, masculinity, virility, experience, of birthing will of love, affirmation with the object and subject. 4 equals higher, softer, more passive tone in communication, advocation of unity, as sun and moon, inclusion and power, virility and gentility, masculinity and femininity, innocence and experience, creativity and stability, thought of solidifying 2, 3, 1 as 1 and 2, a birthing thought of love, affirmation with object and subject. 5 equals lower, firmer, more aggressive tone of power, mockery, disputes, anger of absurdity, paradox, declaration of objects, challenging truth of love, unity, matrimony, objects with furthering bond of subject, as in relation to beginning, generation, creation, in reaction to fusion, reaction to mix with 1 and 2, will and thought, being an idea, masculinity and femininity, a becoming of will for reason to deny love, affirmation with object and subject. 6 equals further, higher, softer, more passive tone of humility, sincerity, understanding of object, understanding challenge to truth of love, unity, matrimony, in recognition of object, will, power, in relation to beginning, pleading compromise, reconciliation, incorporation, consideration with unity, suggesting humility for acceptance, a becoming thought for reason to deny love, affirmation with object and subject. 7 equals offset, firm, inquisitive tone of mystery, question, secrecy, reclusion, in study, reasoning, pondering of truths, cooperation, compromise, of maturing will for truth of love, affirmation with object and subject. 8 equals high, soft, passive tone of objects' arrival to and surrender of power to subject, of confirming affirmation of love to 2, of subjects coming acceptance of object and subject as 1 and 2, strong and weak, of objects coming allegiance of humility to subject, 1 as strong, but 2 as wise, of maturing thought for truth of love, affirmation with object and subject. 9 equals low, firm, aggressive tone of peace, satisfaction, accomplishment, of everlasting love, unity, matrimony, of eternal being of love, affirmation with object and subject. 10 equals ain, as gain from experience of existence, life, trial, increments of depth, color, shade, as nothing, inauguration of presence, being, introduction, space, lapse. 11 equals furthering of 1, 12 equals furthering of 2, 13 equals furthering of 3, so on into infinity. In truth, everlasting love, regardless no trial of such depth, color, shade, shall break the bond, unity, relationship of love, no ordeal, hardship, suffering will shatter the two in connection. As sun and moon, desiring of mutual existence, forever to take place by fire and stone, wind and ice. May 22, 2007. Lunacy. I'm doubting my sanity in previous writings, that I'm perhaps speaking gibberish to a tolerant, friendly audience, that I'm in a state of world where only I can understand my speech, every one smiling, accepting my lunacy. I'm worrying that I speak syntactic nonsense, my dash use derailing sentence clarity, my grammar confusing, misplaced, illogical. I'm worrying partly due to lack of response from humanity. I'm receiving little to no communication, deducing not of humanity and carrying simplicity, rather that I might be a madman speaking word salad, speech in abstract, derailing language, incomprehensible to rational man. I trust in truth and sincerity that I may be sensible and coherent to humanity. May 22, 2007. Guitar. Suddenly today I wanted to buy a guitar. I realized my interests had felt incomplete. I wanted to purchase one. I drove down to Guitar Center and told the employee what I was looking for. Lo-fi, grainy, nocturnal sound, reminiscent of Hellhammer, Bathory, Darkthrone. The guy handed a really neat dark grey guitar. I told him I would be recording with the computer, and he hands me a guitar port and a USB cable along with the guitar, totaling $380-something. I hope he hadn't ripped me off. I drive home and hook everything up and record my first piece with a neat guitar tone helped from the program included with the guitar port. I worked with Sibelius this time, sincerely and laboriously, adding drums to the guitar melody. I added vocals too, but I left them out, wanting to keep them for later. My home is a bad place for voice. I'm looking for a studio, maybe to lend help. Otherwise, I have my music account set up and ready for listening. My song Triumph of Life, the title a switch of Hellhammer's Triumph of Death song demo. I'm wanting life to succeed through such enslaving pain and dragging misery of civilized living. I put up an older organ work from February-March when I was performing misanthropic music. The song enters tone structure gradually from a monadic tone to an octave, perfect fifth, and such, to full harmony and eerie cathedral-esque sounds. The song title being Death Will Come, being no escape for man. I don't know much of the guitar, how to play, what to perform, and such. I barely know tuning keys. The lowest is E, then comes A, then D. After that, a mystery. I will learn. I plan to study the guitar and perfect the performance of the instruments. Anyway, I entreat ye, ride the lightning. Hail. Sincerely, Adam Patrick Mystic, a.k.a. Sorcerer, a.k.a. Madman. May 18, 2007. Clarification. In spite of the fact that I've appeared to lost my mind since, comparing to what I used to be, the fact is that I remain as strong to this day as I once was. The worry may be that I am more obscure with my telling of speech, writing, my learning aspects, and the obscurity of knowledge and representation of individual falsity and ideas, in secrecy, hidden, deeper meaning, the symbolism bearing a specializing path to determining the seeker in learning, realizing the knowledge without jumping to conclusion, or forming preconception of approach, so that the knowledge is not dismissed, irrelevant, rather that the idea becoming relevant, of acceptation, understanding, consideration, as far as practicing, to survive the test of even the harshest time. To clarify nature and Nordic understanding, I won't draw away. I remain just as strong as I ever used to be. One should consider, must realize the main, higher standing importance, leaning of my vision, philosophy, concerning the past, as part of my visionary model for the future of man, especially the Caucasoid, as being the vision of the Viking, my description of higher ontology, existence, vision bearing regard to me, consideration, conception, the once was Caucasoid of will, power, beyond dualism, beyond good and evil, of strength, bravery, honor. My revelation of this being mysterious and secret, so that at the discovery of my description, the human being alone in agreement, succumbing to ideas that political correct, modernist, democratical human, the representation of my family's present and near future, would never fall to. Thus the timeless message, statement giving hope to me of my folk's existence and security, never faltering during even the harshest times, plague of humanitarian liberality, frailty, exhaustion, suicide. May 24, 2007. Fishing. The prior night I was inspired. Today I decided to head out to the gun and tackle shop. There I purchased power baits, the red, white, blue type and the rainbow type, salmon eggs, 24 smaller size treble hooks, a dozen 1/4 size egg sinker weights, 12 size barrel swivels, 4-pound Test Stren line, a $40 fishing license, and a $40 fishing rod and reel. I will be additionally purchasing night crawlers when I leave to fish, and I will be additionally bringing a tackle box, line clippers, and among other accessories. I will be leaving Monday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. for Wolford, purchasing a fishing permit and fishing until noontime, planning to catch trout. I want to find if I have outgrown allergic reaction to handling fish. I'm sure I will not react to trout as strongly as I have to sardines, saltwater fish, etc. I'll be researching information on fish supply and recent stocks of Lake Wolford. If I pretend to catch trout, I plan to release the fish for this time. I want to purchase an ice chest to store the fish from the environment, yet I've still to purchase this cooler. Anyway, I look to having a good time. Hail. May 26, 2007. Magic. Eliphas Levi, stating of the human will as the miraculous force, capable of achieving all ideas exhaustible, from mundane to miraculous means and ends. Projecting love of universe, casting shield of good intention to the abyss of demons. Magic as purposive means of aim to becoming together with subject, as end to desire. Surging of meaning, relationship, compatibility to the professed will and devotion of the subject, of mystery and secrecy, the coalescing of the two, in truth, of one, stating attainment of perceptual rapture, bliss, objective harmony of all, universe, Godhead. Enumerations of Kabbalistic sephira, reaching, attaining infinity of numbers, evoking supreme deity through level, state, traversing channel of limitless light, energy of sun, light of gold, fluidity of moon, dimness of silver, reincarnating phenomena, life in succession of intensity, length, breadth, initiating adept to furthering state of magi, master of the temple, of the universe, of magic invocations, realm of wizardry, coven of sorcery, space of purposive awe, intending of spells, potions, enchantments, master yogi, consulting guru, crossing of foot the Ganges, moving mountains of earth, generating strength to lift monuments of stone, boulders, pulling heavy with gravity, energizing, equalizing, connecting Vishnu's universe, samadhi of oneness, asana yoga, position of gods, dragons, thunderbolts, cranes, stilling of material body, shell, boundary, absent of twitch, nerve, itch, pranayama, mantra yoga, rhythm, repetition, systemizing control, power of stillness, firm pleasure, easy steadiness, humming mantra of holiness, reflecting meaning, power of significance, yama, niyama, control of material events, directing of occurring quality, regulating death, theft, deception, infidelity, diet, intoxication, remembering, doing what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, pratyahara, control of mental events, reflecting of intellectual significance, implication, purpose, darkness, quieting of thoughts, upheaval of burden, of mental activity, of disorder, imbalance, disparity of unifying concentration. Dharana, concentration, focusing, locking will, attention, desire, to object, symbol, sign, icon, illuminating object with energy, fluidity, fixity. Dhyana, contact, experience with object, figure, form. The meaning, purpose, reason of object, shape. Samadhi, exposure, break, flow of knowledge, secret, hidden from intellect, wisdom of universe, moving, lifting from form, appearance, representation, shape, arriving from upon all, universe, Godhead, Vishnu, end of existing duality, connection of object and subject, power and wisdom, sun and moon, one and two, high attainment of rapture, understanding, peace. Oath to mastery, obedience of holy, arranging, assembling of the holy temple, the universe, the continuing will, course of absolute events, founding of the circle, realm of magic, practice, identity of infinity, all points equidistant from center, balance, equilibrium, designing, planting of the altar, fixation of the will, 10 squares, double cube, sum of 1, 2, 3, and 4, embodiment of nature's law, memory of which the magician works, toils, planting upon the altar of great works, triangle of weaponry, and amidst the holy oil, the weapons, scourge, sulphur, animal desire, low-ranking will, the dagger, mercury, calming of heat, plunging heart, magician, letting of blood, coolant of fire, spirit, heat, the chain of salt, binding of wandering thoughts, placing of holy oil, file of consecration, attonation of material, protection of evil will, unholy force, black demons, spirits of the abyss, cleansing to safeguard, sanctuary, oil of olive, gift of Minerva, wisdom of God, mirror, tribute of Binah, the great mother, third of the Separat, understanding, sorrow, compassion of the universe, oil of cinnamon, of Tiparat, sixth of the Separat, as sun, glory, suffering, oil of Galangal, Keter and Malkut, first and last of the Separat, one and many, as one, unleashing of the wand, the magical will, the beginning and the end, rising and surrendering, the Father to the Beloved, all self, Chokmah of the Separat, becoming of wisdom, of the Mother Goddess, storing of energy, tip of Keter, one, generating Separah, fire, passion, beholding of the cup, the magical understanding, Our Lady Bab-a-Lon, the Mother, round opening of blood, water of the Beloved, portal to wisdom, truth, knowledge, Bina of the Separat, reception to projection, higher grasping of fluid attainments, wielding of the sword, the reason of the Magi, affirming holiness, goodwill, slaying of unholy ones, spirits of the dark side, Tiperet of the Ruach, as concealment of wand and cup, as son of mother and father, will and understanding, sun and moon, gold and silver, one and two, revealing of the pentacle, the earth of the Magi, cup as heavenly food, pentacle as earthly food, nourishment, satisfying of life, fertility, harvest, wand as divine force, sword as human force, cup as hollow, receiving influence from above, pentacle flat as the plains of earth, establishing of the lamp, the light of life, the heat, generating of the sun, above the magic circle, above all the universe, burning of the ether, support from above, gazing into the spirit, symbolic state of samadhi, magic will ceasing, state of resting existence, coronating with the crown, the attainment of the work, the band of gold, three pentagrams of the front, the Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit, the hexagram at the back, the magician, the serpent surrounding the crown, biting its tail, the eternity, continuity of the spirit, the royalty of initiation, garbing of the robe, the shield, guard of the elements, from spirits of demons, from planetary force, energy as hiding, concealing of the self, appointing of occultic life, withdrawing from the known, going from direction, writing of the book, of spells and conjurations, record of all thoughts, word, deed of the magician, eternal, endless, without erasure, bearing testament to will, force, idea, symbol, evoking of meaning, calling of act, summoning of idea to force the source of will, store, ringing of the bell, summoning of the host, sounding elevation to the Beloved, commanding solemnity, majesty of the universe, bearing the lamen, breastplate of Tiprat, harmony of all symbols in one, safe of secret keys to power, burning of the magic fire within the thurible, cauldron of Jupiter, Venus, of charcoal, placement of incense, casting of all matter into the vessel, solving of physical mental being, coagulating of spiritual essence, further harmony of love into the universe, the Godhead. May 29, 2007.